I'm 2 minutes into explaining a furnace to a young fella in his first house, and I just now noticed his eyes went flat. He's still nodding, but it's the polite kind of nod, the kind people give you when they quit following a while back and don't want to be rude about it. And I'm standing there thinking, I have been talking this whole time and teaching him nothing. This has figured something out. I'm Dave. I fix air conditioners over in Kingfisher, and today I'm working through why the folks who know a thing the best are so often the worst at explaining it. Turns out that's not them being stuck up or bad at their job. It's a glitch in the wiring, and every one of us has it. Let me back up to that call. Nice young homeowner, first place of his own, and he actually wanted to understand his system. I love that. So I started him. Capacitor this, refrigerant charge that, static pressure across the coil, delta T on the supply and the return. I was rolling. In my head, I was being real helpful. Then I looked over and saw those flat eyes, and it landed on me all at once. Every word coming out of my mouth was true. Every word was useful to me. I've lived inside this stuff 45 years. To him, it was just noise in a language he never got taught. And here's the part that bugged me driving home. I couldn't feel that gap while I was standing in it. I couldn't hear how it sounded to him. So that's what got me chewing on it. How do you forget so clean, so complete, what it was like to not know a thing? Turns out there's a name for it. They call it the curse of knowledge. Once you know something real well, you lose the knack for imagining what it's like to not know it. The knowing sits right there between you and the other person, and you can't see around your own head. There's a study that nails it flat. A researcher named Elizabeth Newton ran it over at Stanford. Simple setup. She paired people up two at a time. One's the tapper, one's the listener. The tapper picks a song everybody knows, Happy Birthday, something like that, and taps out the rhythm on the table with a finger. The listener has to guess the song. Before they got going, she asked the tappers, how many of these do you figure your partner gets right? The tapper said about half. Easy, they thought, because the whole time they're tapping, they can hear the actual song playing in their head, full band and all. The listeners guessed right about 2.5% of the time, not half, almost never, because the listener doesn't get the song. The listener gets a finger going tap, tap, tap on a table, and that's it. That right there is the curse. The tapper's got the music and can't shut it off, so he can't picture that the other person is sitting there hearing plain old taps. The folks who first slapped a name on this were some economists back in the late 1980s, studying it in markets and haggling over prices, but it shows up anywhere a person who knows something opens his mouth at a person who doesn't. And here's the part that stuck a hook in me. The more you know, the worse it gets. Knowing a lot doesn't make you a better teacher on its own. Sometimes it makes you a worse one, because the gap between you and the beginner got wider and somehow you feel it less. I have watched this in the trade my whole life, and now I finally know what to call it. Take a master tech and set him in front of a homeowner, and half the time that homeowner walks off more confused than before he called. Not because the tech's dumb, because he's smart, and he plumb forgot what it feels like to not know. He's tapping the song. The customer's hearing taps. I see it with the new guys, too, only backwards. The best teacher I ever had wasn't the sharpest man on the crew. He was the one who still remembered being lost himself. He'd been at it long enough to be good, and not so long that he'd forgotten the confusion. That middle spot right there is pure gold, and most folks blow right past it and never look back. So here's what I do different now. When I'm explaining something to a homeowner, I don't go reaching for the right word. I reach for the word they already own. I don't say your capacitor's failing. I say there's a part in here that works like the battery that gives your motor its little kick to get going, and yours is worn down, so the motor's straining every single time it tries to start. Same exact truth, but now they've got a hook to hang it on. And I check, I stop, and I ask, does that make sense? Or you want me to say it another way? Not in a way that makes a man feel dumb. A real question, because it's on me to land it, not on him to catch it. If he didn't follow, that's my miss, not his. The other thing this curse teaches you runs a lot deeper than furnaces. Be patient with people who don't know what you know. Your wife with your work. Your kid with something that's plain as day to you. The new hire asking you the same question for the third time. They're not slow. you're just tapping a song they can't hear. The kind thing and the smart thing is to quit tapping and start humming a couple words they'd actually recognize. So here's what I figured out sitting with this one. Knowing a thing deep and explaining it plain are two different skills, and that first one will quietly strangle the second if you let it. The expert isn't the one who can pull out the biggest words. The expert is the one who can take the hardest thing you've got and hand it to you in words you already own. If you're ever sitting across from somebody who clearly knows their business and you can't follow a lick of it, don't feel small about it. They're just cursed. And if you're the one doing the talking, slow down, drop the fancy words, and remember, nobody else can hear that song playing in your head. This is Figured Something Out, and I'm Dave Hartzell. Thanks for riding along with me. Call 405-375-4822 or book at hartzellcterre.com.